Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from podweather.com and Internet Partnership Radio with the latest on the tropics. And by the way, Dr. Gray and Dr. Phil Klotzbach have released their June hurricane forecast. Not looking good if you're a resident in the Caribbean and the U.S. Looks like you have potential for 15 named storms, 8 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. That would get to the name Omar. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of storms, and this could be more or less what we see, and an above-average major hurricane landfall risk in both the Caribbean and in the United States. We typically see, on average, one major hurricane make landfall every 3 years in the U.S. Last time, 3 years ago, Wilma. Now, for June, we can see some major hurricane activity, but usually not much, but it does happen. In June of '66, so we're talking, a good 42 years ago, we saw a hurricane named Alma, and that came up as a tropical depression over Nicaragua, and it developed into a Category 2 hurricane before striking Cuba. And then on June 9th, so 42 years ago today, we had a Category 3 hurricane off the southwest coast of Florida. Thankfully, the cooler waters here in the Northeast Gulf weakened the hurricane since it was only early June. But it still made landfall as a hurricane, probably near Apalachicola. And, they could occur in June, but certainly that's a reminder, Hurricane Alma in '66. You can still get hurricanes that are intense in June, and you always have to watch out for that. Well, out there today, we don't have a Hurricane Alma, but we do have a tropical wave here in the central Atlantic. Still too far south, and it's an unfavorable environment, but I have to tell you, even the Hurricane Center noted, the way these waves are holding together and trying to progress for just the 9th day of the hurricane season is not a good indicator of a quiet year. I think we could see potentially even some early activity. Say next month, we could even see one of these waves try and develop on us. Out in the western Caribbean, we do have some rainfall occurring with this tropical wave, although I don't think anything's going to happen with that. Convection with an upper low over Florida, creating some thunderstorm activity there. A closer look at our wave, you can see the wave axis in here, and it's progressing in this direction. Shouldn't be much left of it, but if it does hold together, the islands could get some rainy weather, and certainly the north coast of South America. You can see the reason why it's not holding together is this wind shear right in here, about 40 knots of it. And right now it's in about 20 knots, and it'll be 30, 40 knots, and eventually there won't be much left of it. Although if you're further north, you could definitely see a favorable wind shear in here as we have this upper feature here clearing the way, and thankfully we don't have anything trying to develop in that region. Further out, another tropical wave out here. Again, it's still too early, but they're coming off, and as we head into July, and especially in August and September, we'll have a couple of storms off Africa, I'm sure. Out in the East Pac, south of Mexico, we have this. This is a moderate risk for development into a depression. Looks like maybe a little twist in there, and if we do get something, it should move gradually in the west direction. But it could cause some rainy weather, as we're already doing along the coast of Mexico. And in the West Pac, you could see some convection, but it doesn't look like anything organized, so I don't think we'll see any typhoons, at least for the next week or so. So that's it. I'm Mike Naso from podweather.com and Internet Partnership Radio. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.